What's going on, Ambitious Vets? Welcome to episode number 30 of The Ambitious Vet with Marine Corps veteran and Jewelry Republic founder, Greg Boudah. Welcome to The Ambitious Vet. My name is Chris Hoffman, Marine combat veteran turned passion-driven entrepreneur. Now, guys, we're here to dive into the trenches with today's top-performing military veterans that were once warrior-made, but are now passion-driven. Now, guys, as they share their stories, their failures, and the journey of what it took, we just hope that this unlocks your secret formula to living a more impactful, meaningful, and top-performing civilian life. So before we go ahead and dive into today's episode with Greg Boudah, guys, if you're listening to this, you are ambitious and you're a veteran. With a lot of ambition comes a big vision, but ultimately a big vision equals big adversity. Anytime you have to grow into something bigger than who you are right now, you've got to develop yourself. You got to develop skill sets, narrow time frames, seek mentorship, coaching, develop networks, resources, all that kind of stuff, and getting to your next mission objective, right? Well, guys, I often explain it as my experience back in March of 2012, where I got out feeling like I was Clark Kent out of the uniform, and I had to realize, how do I get back to the level of impact that Superman had, or how I felt when I was serving? I think a lot of you guys that are listening to this identify that with that tremendously. So, guys, I want you guys to come engage with us at Veteran Empowerment Transition Facebook group, where everyone that's interviewed on this podcast is in there, and 570 more ambitious vets that are seeking resources, tools, and strategies on how to live a more impactful life out of the uniform, guys. Get there now. Don't miss out. And ultimately, guys, to get that passion-driven life, you've got to surround yourself with people that think like you. We'll see you at Veteran Empowerment Transition Facebook group. All right, ambitious vets. So let's go ahead and bring you the golden grenade, shall we? Guys, who's bringing it this week? It's going to be Greg Boudah. Greg Boudah is a U.S. Marine veteran turned Jewelry Republic founder, guys. It's his story of how he transitioned from the Marine Corps into the jewelry industry is great. I'm excited to bring that to you and kind of have you guys hear practical steps of what it takes to go into a brand new industry, totally different from what you were doing as far as when you were serving, and develop long-term inside of an industry and become an expert in it. So, guys, what does Greg describe himself as? He describes himself as a redheaded stepchild raised from a mixed-up family, particularly an a-hole stepdad, and also an amazing mother who is really the anchor. He was a Navy brat who lived across the country and attended entirely too many schools, which I'm sure a lot of you guys can relate to. In 93, graduated high school and just went right into the Marine Corps and was standing on those yellow footsteps that we all know and love in MCRD San Diego. He served in multiple deployments in an armed battalion unit. He served in 2003 in the artillery battery, where he was deployed to Iraq for an IEF. And he was actually promoted to staff sergeant in country and separated from the Corps honorably. He loved the U.S. Marine Corps, as we all kind of brought those lifelong brotherhood and sisterhoods that we all have. Now, during his service, he met his Irish wife and earned a bachelor's degree and caught an unrelenting travel bug. He started working in the jewelry field and after active duty and found it to be very interesting. He worked for 3 companies, learned from the best and the worst before starting his own. He has a house in Colorado, and he's been actually calling Thailand home since 2006, where he owns 2 companies. He has a wonderful 8-year-old redheaded boy who currently is very interested in making knives and swords. Guys, I'm excited to bring you this very eccentric personality and Greg Boudah. Let's go ahead and dive in. Brother, you there?
Hey, Chris. Hi, Chris. How are you? Thank you so much for having me on your podcast. It's really great. Totally
Yeah,
appreciate
brother,
it.
we're happy to have you on the Ambitious Vet, brother. So, brother, go ahead and fill the gaps in that introduction, and just let us know a little bit more about who you are as a person,
Okay.
brother.
Hey, that's great. Well, let me start at the beginning. So what we're doing here now with the Jewelry Republic is we're a fine jewelry retailer for our veteran community. We make jewelry, and we've been making jewelry and selling jewelry to veterans within our community and the people, the patriots who really love us and appreciate what we have done. And it's all about, because of the product that we make, it's all about trust and community. It's really quite important. And our people, our customers, and hopefully more and more veterans as we grow can appreciate that. Before we got to this stage of running a couple of companies, is like I spent many years in the Marines. I got out in 03, 93 to 03, like you said. I'm an infantryman by trade, light armor reconnaissance. I did several years out there in the lovely 29 Palms, which I know we all love very much.
Yes, so it's, of course, yes.
Yeah. Yeah, and then I was in LAR out there for several years. And I had to take off like many infantrymen. We get out, and I took off and did my B as a Marine security guard, and I took off to Africa and Switzerland and Ireland. And actually, I met my current wife, my only wife that I've ever had. I met her in Tanzania in 1997, and then boom, 1998, Osama bin Laden. 1997, Osama bin Laden blows up our damn embassy over there. So that's when we all got wind of OBL, right? Little did I know. Fast forward several more years later, is I'd be on the ground, in Iraq dealing with the aftermath of that whole situation. Several events later.
Wow.
Became a forward observer after my Marine security guard transition. I left. This is where the transitioning part comes into play. I left active duty from the security guard program, and I wanted to go to college. I wanted to go back in and go to OCS, and it was kind of peacetime. It was pre 9/11, and everything was kind of cool. So I went to school, but I immediately joined the reserves. I stayed reserve, and I really enjoyed that quite a bit. I became a forward observer in Colorado, and so I'm doing a lot of great training. Learned a hell of about the reserves, which is an interesting transition from active to reserve, because active we kind of have issues with reserve. When I became a reservist, there's a lot of brilliant people in the reserves. I mean, these people are running companies, doing manager jobs, doing real work. And oh, by the way, you're a dipshit PFC, but you're really smart. You got a lot of value here. So it's really quite an interesting transition that way.
Yeah.
It was an interesting thing. So that was the military time. My unit in Colorado got deployed to Iraq, and it was a heck of an experience, which may be for a different conversation. But our artillery unit got converted to mortuary affairs.
Damn.
Yeah,
Okay.
Some two dudes from Washington D.C. show up in shirts and freaking bow ties, and they plop down a couple of dummies and tell us how to process dead Marines. It was really a trip.
My gosh.
Yeah. So
Oh my gosh, you had a journey, brother. That's great. That's great. Wow. So cool, man. I mean, you served for many years, man. Thanks for your service, of course. And it sounds like it was a great transition and all that. So,
hey, Ambitious Vets, we'll get right back to Greg Boudah and all his golden grenades here in a second, but I want to take a brief break to thank the sponsor today, brought to you today by Audible.com, guys. A lot of veterans come up to me in person and message me, email me, all that good stuff. And they're always asking me, Chris, what separated you in 3 to 4 years and going from someone that was on a wrestling mat and only owning a school desk and renting an apartment that you couldn't afford in San Diego to now being a sales trainer, being a best-selling author, podcaster, and influencer inside the military community and the real estate community? Well, the answer is the compound effect, right? Compound effect means that if I start making small daily decisions, choices, and develop small habits, simple habits every single day, right? In the next 12 to 24 months, my life is going to look totally different than the guy that doesn't decide to do the small decisions. So what are the small decisions, small habits I want to enroll you guys in to start doing? Reading. if it's reading a physical book, some of you guys enjoy that. Some of you guys like to listen to Audible, guys. Audible is a great tool I use for my 30-minute commutes every single day to work and from work, where I fill my mind with knowledge, not listening to other people achieving their dreams, if that makes sense, guys. I want to give you a charge to go and download Audible, guys. You get a 30-day free trial. First book is free. You can cancel anytime, no strings attached. After you listen to that first book, if you don't like it, or if you do like it, rather, it's $14.95 a month. That's it, guys. When you go there, just type in Ambitious Vets-20, Ambitious Vets-20, and we'll make sure that you get that 30-day free trial, guys. And I look forward to seeing your life in the next 12 months. Now back to the show.
Brother, what I want to do is I want to kind of dive into, I know you talked a little bit about getting out, and your first place you were living is Colorado, correct? When you got out of the uniform?
It was actually Arizona for a real short period of time. That's where I got into the jewelry business. I considered becoming a police officer. I considered becoming a whole bunch of different things. And but that while I was going and kind of figuring out the first several months, I got this job because Phoenix PD wasn't hiring at the moment. But I got this job selling jewelry in Scottsdale, Arizona. That worked out. Being a Marine security guard, I had all these awesome suits, right? Because the State Department buys you suits, and like your blues in the background, we get extra blues. We get all kinds of extra gear, man. Like they got all kinds of money. And so we know that literally one day in the Marine security guard school, they take you to the mall with a check. It's stupid. And you just go shopping and buy it. Yeah, and you got Marines who don't know how to dress, and they got black shoes with green belts and shit. It's just hilarious. Anyway, so I got these 4 suits. I need a job. It's Phoenix. It's hot as hell. I'm obviously a redhead. We don't jive too well. And so I'm selling jewelry. So I get this jewelry job because I put these suits to work, making $12 an hour. But I think because I'm 100% certain some of the meds we had to take for malaria, it really tore me up. I never said anything, I was just puking like all the time. So this is my transition. It's a little weird. Like I'm out going to school, working full time, and going to college at night, burning up that GI Bill. And man, I'm like every night, 1 a.m, I'm puking till like 4 a.m.
Wow.
And I have to wake. I gotta wake up obviously and perform at work and perform in school and do all that stuff. So the stress that happened for a good few years. And if we remember back in the day, the Phoenix VA was like the poster child of fraud, foul feeds-ins, and bad management, everything. And nobody knew that then. I was just kind of like a guy getting tossed around in the VA at the time.
We all dealt with that, man. Hurry up and wait, man. Come on, everyone knows.
It's terrible. It was terrible. It was terrible. So I was going to school and doing my selling jewelry, and I'm learning how I'm having a hard time dealing with the civilians. I don't know about you, but when you separate especially from the Corps, I don't know, maybe the other branches are quite the same, is people are just, I don't know how to collaborate with them. My level of intensity I thought was low. Yep. I'm intentionally lowering it because I know that I can't talk to, Carol, the sales girl, or John, the manager of the store, who hasn't done much in his life, but he somehow is. Yeah. Anyway, I thought I lowered it to a certain level, but I kept getting a lot of flack where I was too direct, too hardcore, and I'm like, God damn! Like, so I'm talking to my wife, and she's coaching me, and I get this advice, and I did this visual where like I am taking myself down, I am cooling off, I am being what I think is super. I feel like I'm faking it, and I'm trying to relate to Susie. Long story short is I was told, no, you came down, but you're still a mile high above everybody else. I'm like, like we're just so intense when we transition, and it took a real long time, a whole lot of soul searching to kind of get my head around it, so where I can accept that they're completely different than what I was. Mm-hmm. And the civilians that I work with. And I had to just really take it down and slow it down very carefully so that I didn't just, upset the apple cart like every day. And I became a manager. I mean, obviously we perform, right? That's who we are. You know, we get stuff done. You know, I like objectives, and we got I'm selling more. I'm doing more. I became a manager. Then the company asked us to move to Colorado about 9 months into Arizona.
Nice, brother. Well, hey man, we got some
artillery, and I started feeling better.
That's awesome, brother. Robert Calamaco Jr. says those pills are no joke. That's for damn sure. Carmen says Greg Boudah. We got Andy Nelson live with this. Thanks for that. He's like the trademark king for veterans. And we got Leandra Smith. Thanks for joining us live. So if you guys have any questions for either of us, go ahead and drop those in the comments below. This is live for you guys. So if you guys have any questions about, you know, getting in the jewelry industry, or even, you know, with Greg, as he continues to dive into his story and what he's passionate about, guys, don't be afraid to drop any comments below, any questions, anything like that. We're here for you guys. Okay. So yeah, brother. So, I mean, it sounds like you had a hell of an experience, man. Not only were you battling malaria pills and the side effects of those, but you're trying to create stability out of the uniform with a family. That had to be tough. Yeah. So what was the moment where you decided that, like, you know, I have to start learning how to adapt to civilians, and how did you start being able to do that? Because that's part of my story too, man, is I got an immediate sales job in the fitness industry, and like I was talking too direct, wasn't using emotional words, and like civilians could not like relate to me at all. And I was so mission driven that people were like, he's intense, he gets shit done at a high level, but how do I connect? Right? How do I connect with this guy? So what was it that had you finally start like really connecting to your heart, I guess you would say, and actually get more effective at, you know, communicating with civilians, and ultimately leading you to a successful business owner, right?
Let me make sure I understand the question correctly. Is what got to the point whereby I could start collaborating, communicating to them effectively, and not put my Marine Corps style?
Yeah, absolutely, man. What was the moment? Yeah, what was the moment that you had like this time to where you actually were able to actually start connecting? What did you do? Start reading books? Did you start taking seminars? Were you just like, was it like overnight? Hey, I got to learn how to like get to know these people, get outside of yourself. Like, you know, what was it? What was it for you, man?
That's a great question, actually. And I would love to say it was a seminar. I would love to say it was like an individual epiphany moment, but I'll be dead honest, man. It was just hard slogging. I mean, just figuring out what did not work, what worked, what didn't work. You know, plus, you know, there was a lot, you know, all the employees that worked for me throughout the years. I feel pretty sorry for some of them, because once I pegged you with a shitbird, it's on. Like, forget it.
Shit! I still do that too, man.
I know. Yeah, like, still do that. It's only a matter of time before you quit.
Yeah.
It was just years of just practice and good. I had good management. In fairness, I have a very my very good family. My wife can see she's got this really great macro where I'm definitely zeroed in at the micro, and I can bounce stuff off of her, and she can say, well, literally, Greg, you're doing X, Y, Z. And I was like, I don't even see it like that. I don't see my communication style as like aggressive or curt or any of that. And so those many years of conversation just kind of got into me. And what I had to do, Chris, is I had to open my mind. And I know I still have dozens of military Marine friends and beyond, that you got to be able to go and say, okay, humble yourself and say, okay, shit, I've got to adapt. There's only a few percent population of us people, and I've got to work with them. Then I've got to work with me. So I had to really get mature and listen and be coachable.
Yeah.
Those things over time, they take time, because we're egotistical, prideful people. It is what it is. And it took a long time to like chip that stuff away. And in fairness, it still rears up. I mean, I still get quite direct, but most of the time I got it under control.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thanks.
Down there all the time.
Yeah. Thanks for sharing honest, man. Thanks for sharing authentically, man, because a lot of us military people, we think talking too direct is a bad thing, but when you're in business, you're an ambitious vet, like speaking direct can be super effective. And what I like most about what you said, man, is you gave up knowing. That's what I preach a lot about inside this tribe. Is it wasn't until we give up knowing, because when we get out of the Marine specifically for us, but for other military members, we get out thinking we know something, right? And it's when you give up knowing and you start seeking discovery. And I think traveling a little bit opened your perspective a little bit. But once you start getting into like this world of discovery, things start opening up, man. You start realizing like, whoa, like this world that I live in is just my world and there's other people's worlds. And you start getting curious. And I think when you get curious about people, things start thriving better. And I love that you're still direct, man. I think that's super important to still be direct. Too many fancy words out there, man.
You're dead right. I tell the story all the time about my senior drill instructor, Staff Sergeant Embry. I mean, you remember in boot camp, they'd walk around at night and they'd be, you'd be reciting the 14 leadership traits, or you'd be reciting the creed or whatever knowledge of the day is happening, right? Well, one of the 14 leadership traits is tact. Mm-hmm. And he would drill around and walk around the squad bay and he would say stuff like one key moment that goddamn stuck and I paid for it for years was, of the 14 leadership traits, he would throw out tact. And I was like, yeah, I hung on to that. And that was
it was ingrained in you, man. Yeah, bro. But there's so many acronyms and ditties like that we served in the military that like we can adapt to the civilian world and have it structure our lifestyles, our businesses, our careers, stuff like that. So speaking of which, brother, I mean, you found yourself in the jewelry industry. Now, obviously you're in Thailand, you're building a great, huge company called the Jewelry Republic, right? Shirt, mug, you're all branded out. I love it. And brother, I mean, tell me about how you started finding that jewelry, the industry was your passion. Like, how did you start finding yourself inside that industry?
Great. Okay. So I just started growing up through it within the jewelry industry. I got out, I took a job, and now I started climbing that ladder in my industry. It's a really cool industry. I mean, it's not a typical Marine Corps transition. I get asked often, how'd that happen? But we have design. Design is critical. We have 3D design. Well, I mean, right over my shoulder is my 3D printer, my old bank of 3D printers. We have high fashion. We have finance. We have credit terms, banking. We have engineering, problem solving. We're casting gold all the time. We're buying diamonds all the time, dealing with interesting characters, making sure. So the industry is actually quite cool. There's a lot going on in the industry that makes it. It's quite a fun industry. My family's not jewelry at all, nor is my wife's. So we started getting certifications. We went to the Gemological Institute of America, which adds credibility to the knowledge that to the things that we do and the things that we say. And so I was working for a company in the US, and they actually downsized, and I got downsized with them. And one day I was like, boom, I had a job, making good salary, and bang, no salary, no job. And at that time I was, because I'm still reserved, I'm still in my 30s. And I was like, okay, this is a curve that I need to deal with. And at that very point, one of my my diamond vendors was looking for someone to start a company for them in Thailand. So they asked me, they said, hey, can you go start a company in Thailand? I said, sure. No freaking clue how to do that. But I said, sure, I'll do that. So we packed up and we moved we worked for them for about 5 or 6 months, maybe a year in Belgium. We lived in Antwerp in the diamond district, learning that industry quite well. Wow. And then from there, we came down to Bangkok and set up a company, and we started manufacturing designs. Now, what we did then is we kind of involved into a much bigger thing, is we manufacture jewelry and twirl on the red carpet. The jewelry that we use today would be a woman, Charlize Theron at the Oscars or whatever, and she says, "Oh, somebody who made those earrings." and somebody says, "Oh, who made those?" Charlize Theron is asked, "Who made those earrings?" And she says some brand name. Well, that brand name makes it with us, so we make those earrings effectively. And so our designs are really are quite on point with the Jewelry Republic. We know what's going on, we know the trends, and we know the standards that are we're very super high standard. So we came out here with this other company and we evolved. And after years, we were like, God, why don't you just do this ourselves? And we cut and run about seven, almost 8 years ago. We cut and run and started our own company. It's been a hell of a ride ever since, and I'm quite happy we did. I wish I would have done it years and years prior.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome, bro. I mean, really what Ambitious Vets, I mean, you guys can comment in the comments below what you're getting from that story. If you guys are watching it live now or in the future, comment below. But guys, I mean, really what you can get from that is, one, he got into the industry and he was consistent. He built experience. He built up his credibility through getting credentials, surrounding himself with other influencers in the industry, would go and take risks, travel to other countries, learn different niches. And now the guy runs, and you guys are international, right? Don't you distribute all across the world now?
Absolutely. We really don't do anything locally in Thailand. Everything, we have a very large factory here. I'm just in my office, but we have offices in Denver, and we have an office in Ireland. My wife is from Ireland. We have a couple of companies here, but it's all in support of the United States. I'm a member. I'm the chairman of the Small to Medium Enterprise Committee for the American Chamber of Commerce. My wife is on the board of directors for the Irish Chamber of Commerce. And for this community, if you are in whatever town you're in, if you're in some tiny town in Ohio or a major city in the United States, get involved with your American Chamber or your Chamber of Commerce. There is a lot going on there, and you a couple hours a month, but the networking that you can do in your transition from military or your transition into more professional level work, getting involved in your Chamber of Commerce is quite helpful. That's just a simple recommendation I'll give you.
No, absolutely. Yeah, man. Thanks for dropping that resource in here for Ambitious Vets. So, brother, so you're doing some great things, man. I mean, you really casted the vision on what you guys be able to create, but I want to kind of just reverse this a little bit, and then we'll kind of get into 3 golden grenades you're going to drop into the tribe. And then I want you to kind of talk more about the Jewelry Republic and what you're offering veterans, because you guys are really creating some awesome, badass jewelry for veterans. So, brother, I want you to get honest, man. What was the biggest thing you failed upon when starting this movement, man? Like creating this movement and creating this jewelry company, now creating it for veterans. What was the biggest failure, and what do you learn from it?
Great question. This is a little bit on the deeper side. However, I'll be straight up. For many years, I not dropped a couple of anchors in my life, and those anchors slowed me down, distracted me terribly, distracted my family, my immediate family, my wife and I. And those anchors are then going to be, again, it's a little heavy. Those are my family, my parents. They were not helpful whatsoever. I took a path, and that path led me to where it is today. And they were supportive. They were not helpful. They were only destructive for most. I'm not going to say all my. They're very different. I didn't join the Marines, so they like shit to be done easily. But they and it just continued. Yeah, they get in the way. I'm sure many people in your audience will relate to folks to the parents who are not supportive or distracted. God love you if your parents are on your side. They weren't. I was not honest with myself or able to drop those anchors. When I did, everything started to change. Everything started to change.
Yeah. So yeah,
that was my failure. My failure was not dropping it earlier.
Yeah, so that's awesome. That is deep, and that takes self-awareness to understand what is actually dragging you down, right? And understanding that it's your parents. And a lot of people preach that some of your biggest dream stealers and the people that are putting a lid on your potential is the people closest to you. And I can definitely relate to that, coming from a very blue collar family from the Midwest, that teach you to go out and get a 9-to-5 job, work for 40 years, and then start enjoying your life. So definitely can relate to that. It's hard to expand when you got a lid on your potential from people that are probably the closest that you respect and you always looked up to. So good on you, brother, for actually being able to like see that, let go of it, and really chase your potential, brother, because you're doing some amazing things. So, brother, what I want to dive into now, man, is I want to dive into what are the 3 golden grenades that you would give any ambitious vet that's either just getting out of the uniform or, you know, still thinking about getting out. What would be your 3 golden grenades for them to create immediate impact, for them to actually get out and create an impactful life out of the uniform?
I love this part of your show, man. This is like the cool part.
Thanks. This is part of it.
I gotta. There's this little book that Marines we have to read, and it's called Message to Garcia. The whole nutshell of the entire book is: if you need to do something, just go do it. Don't look for excuses. Don't find excuses. If you run into a barrier, go through the barrier, go around it. Do not let anything get in your way. Your responsibility is to find and to reach that target. Just get there. Period. Message to Garcia, and I live my life by that.
Come on now.
Secondly, you've got to do the work. You've got to wake up every day and with a mindset that says, I have to do these things today, because those things, so you have successes today and you have successes tomorrow and the next day, collectively over the month, collectively over the years, they work. And so if you're waiting for somebody else to do it, you're waiting for some other activity to come together for you. You've got to do the work yourself. You've got to learn. You've got to be relentless. You've got to get it done, which leads me to the third, I guess my third golden grenade is you're on your own. I mean, when I say, you have your team, I have my little team of 3, my family. That is that I'm responsible for my contribution to my team, nobody else. I'm responsible for the retirement. I'm responsible for the success of the family, the food on the table, the education of our kid, the production of our company. It's taking responsibility for your life. Do not stick your hand out. Do not look for help other than guidance from mentors. I would say maybe if you need a bank to finance your business, whatever, that's different. But you've got to realize you're on your own, and you should thrive or embrace that and accept it and move forward with it.
Yeah, man. Thanks for that passion, brother. You are definitely warrior made and passion driven, brother. So thanks for those. Thanks for those golden grenades. Thanks for coming in and dropping those bombs and exploding this show with those with that wisdom, brother. Really appreciate it, because I can definitely tell you've implemented those. So good. So, brother, tell us about what you're creating for veterans with Jewelry Republic, man. Like, what are you creating for veterans? I know you're creating a new line, some cool shit for veterans. I want vets to hear about jewelry, why it's important, because I know with veterans are probably just like, jewelry, what? How are you, honestly, right? So it's like, okay, with veterans, how are you speaking to them, and what's your vision for veteran jewelry and stuff like that?
Well, great. I believe that our community, we're based here, we're based there, we come from the Midwest and we get stuck in San Diego somewhere. We don't know anybody. There's no connections. I just really want us to be able to, to have a single source for a very important part of our lives. We all buy jewelry. We simply do. We have women in our lives or men in our lives. We need to buy jewelry. And I just want our community to have a trusted, confident source where they can buy their stuff. And our jewelry is on point. It is not the shit you're going to see at the PX, but I'm going to get my ass to PX. So I'll be there in the future. I'm working on it. But when we go to the ball, right? We go to the Navy ball, Marine ball, Air Force ball. We get our stuff together. Those blues behind you. We spend money like crazy every damn year. And then our wives go get their dress and all that. I truly believe we should do a little thing, give them a little diamond earring or something like that. But that's the retail aspect of what the Jewelry Republic is. We're already selling quite a bit of product to quite a bit of awesome veterans and those who really love us and appreciate us. And that makes me happy, because you have to buy these sorts of things from people that you trust. I hope you do. All the jewelry stores outside your base, your home, they're not our people. Let me just be straight up. They are not our people. I won't bore you with how this industry works behind the scenes, but I'm your people, period. Stay within our people. I'm buying this shirt from one of our people, Justin over at Zerds. I'm making stuff from our people, and that's just our community. And I highly encourage we support that community. That's the short answer. The other answer is, as this brand Jewelry Republic grows, we have a target. My wife and I have a target, and we're going to be. We're looking for the right companies to support, the right nonprofits to support, and we're kind of all over the place on how we're doing it, and we're looking for one annually or monthly. We just really want to help our nonprofits, our community, our brothers and our sisters. Through the profits that we make, we're going to be giving it back. We're not ready to do it yet. There's not profit happening at the moment. We're just this brand is totally new, but it will be something we're going to promote. We're going to talk about it. We're going to tell our community how we're giving back, and that's what our community, I think, is all about at the end of the day.
That's awesome, brother. You know what you should do, just to kind of drop this in? You should see if you could distribute some jewelry to the Military Influencer Conference. Maybe have that in a goodie bag there. I don't know if you're going to make it, but it's going to be in Orlando, Florida. There's going to be a shit ton of military influencers there. That if you could just drop in maybe a flyer promoting your veteran jewelry brand and like a necklace or whatever you guys specialize in for veterans, drop that in just for like a giveaway inside of that, brother. That could like really put your jewelry in the right hands, man. I went to the Military Influencer Conference last year, and the strategic partnerships that I created took my brand from here to here. Just to do it. Have you been connected to Curtis Riggs yet?
Not at all. I think we've done a little bit of chatting here and there, but we haven't done nothing formally.
Perfect. I'm gonna give you guys a virtual introduction, brother.
Thanks, man.
Wherever you got it. Well, hey, brother. That's awesome what you're creating for veterans. So, man, what can they do? How can we find you, man? Where do we go to get connected to the Jewelry Republic?
Thank you, Chris. We're online at www.thejewelryrepublic.com. Facebook is the Jewelry Republic. Instagram is the Jewelry Republic, and those are our public spaces. Please check us out, like us, follow us. We're going to be dropping some videos like how to we get questions like all the time. How much money should I spend on my girlfriend to buy her a diamond ring? I'm going to tell you how that works, man.
Yeah.
Or what is the difference between 18 karat gold, 14 karat gold? What should I buy? I'm going to tell you, man. I'm just going to tell you how to do it. And so I'm going to be doing some educational videos so that we can all kind of learn and buy smarter.
It's huge, man. No, I'm going to watch those damn things, man. I think it's super engaging because us men, man, we're always like, women want jewelry. How the hell do we go about that process of buying it? And getting it the best price and the quality and stuff like that. So that's huge.
Hopefully, hopefully we take care of most of the back end stuff for you. We're going to make sure the quality and the price and the styling is all right. So you as the guy, you just win. I just want you to make her happy, and that's a win. Versus you go, oh, I love it, and then the girls who say, oh, I don't like jewelry. Bullshit. She wants jewelry. Oh, she doesn't wear gold. Yes, she wants to wear gold. Believe me, she does. You're just not buying her the right stuff.
That's awesome, man. Us men, man, we need to be educated. So thanks for doing that. Exactly. Ambitious Vets, I definitely encourage you to go get connected to Greg here, doing some big things. As you can say, he's been in the industry for years now. How many years have you been in the jewelry industry now?
Man, since I joined the reserve, so it's not like 2000. So it's 18 years.
So almost 18 years now. Yeah, I didn't even know you were as young as you were, man. I saw that and I was like, wow. But guys, Ambitious Vets, I just want to encourage you guys to go and get connected with Greg. I mean, this guy's doing some great things. He's extremely passionate, already a very successful guy, expanding 2 companies internationally. And now he's launching a veteran brand around his jewelry, guys. So I definitely encourage you guys to go follow him, connect with him, and figure out how you can get educated, man, on how to get out there and buy jewelry for your women. Ambitious Vets, man, what we do is we do things bigger. We go home, baby. And we do our homework. We're resourceful, and we're definitely aware of what is the best quality jewelry out there. And at the end of the day, we support each other, veteran-owned businesses. And guys, I encourage you guys to go over and follow Greg and their movement, what they're creating at Jewelry Republic. So, Greg, man, I appreciate you staying on a little bit longer than we expected. Amanda Wilson says, yes, please help the men.
Amanda, we'll do our part.
Yes, there we go. The Jewelry Republic, hashtag Jewelry Republic. But brother, I just want to acknowledge you, man, for who you are for the veteran community, man, for setting the example of like really going after it, man, being relentless, really taking the risks that were needed to really show ambitious vets that the 4 mile, the 4-minute mile can be broken, right? Like you can get into an industry that you have nothing about. I mean, you were a grunt and you got into the jewelry industry and you're killing it. So ambitious vets, you should look at that and be like, wow, how can I adapt and overcome? This guy is a prime example of that. So brother, for you setting a prime example for ambitious vets, I just appreciate you. And I appreciate you for joining the Ambitious Vet Show, brother.
Thank you so much for having me on. And thank you for doing what you're doing, man. This is what it's all about.
All right, Ambitious Vets, there you have it. Episode number 30 of the Ambitious Vet Show with Greg Boudah, guys. He's doing something pretty awesome, guys. You guys already know, depending on when you're listening to this, we're releasing it around December 15th of 2018 time period. So if you're listening to this before Santa Claus comes to town, or if you're listening to it in the new year, no matter what, he wants to give a gift to the Ambitious Vet community, guys. I want you guys to visit thejewelryrepublic.com and check out what he's doing over there. It's a veteran-owned company that's been in business for now 7 years. He has a decade of experience inside the jewelry industry, and no one is touching what Greg Boudah and his team are doing, guys. So I definitely request you go over there. If you guys do happen to see something that catches your eye, if you want to make some custom made jewelry for you or significant other or a friend, guys, just make sure you support us at Ambitious Vet and just type in Ambvet at the checkout. It's spelled capital A, M as in Mike, B as in boy, V as in Victor, E as in Echo, T as in Tom at the checkout. And make sure that you guys let him know and his team know that you came from the Ambitious Vet Nation. Guys, as always, I'm going to give you guys my afterthoughts. Guys, it's really simple. Build experience, take risk, don't be afraid to leap before you're ready, and just get out there and get it done. Guys, always give us feedback. You are the lifeblood of this podcast. Negatives, positives, in between, it doesn't really matter. Email me at choffman@vettrainingcoaching.com. That's 2 F's and 2 N's at vettrainingcoaching.com. Would love to hear your thoughts, ideas, or even if you would want to be a sponsor of the show, we would love to have you guys come on and promote whatever you're most passionate about. So guys, don't forget to rate and review the podcast. As you do that, we reach more people and we bring more higher and even better quality guests. I know a lot of you guys that are listening are thinking about who would be a good fit for this show. Send us an email, connect us, or just rate and review the show. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, we just love providing value. That's how you create increase. That's how you make an impact, and that's how you go back to Superman out of the uniform. So guys, we already know that you're warrior made, but to become passion driven, go and execute just one golden grenade that you got from the interview with Greg today. And I promise you, in the next 12, 24 months, or even 5 years from now, your life will look totally different. Until next time, guys, hold the vision and trust the process. Let's go